power within. The Vivekananda Blueprint for Success. Now there are two words in this. What is this power within? We all say there is great power within. But sometimes we feel it when we are confident to face difficulties in our life. We feel that some power within is helping us to struggle. But what exactly is its nature? How to develop it and how to use it for a good purpose? Of course, when we are in trouble, we use all the power that is within us. We seek for help from other people if they can help us. And then we find that it's very rarely that help comes from outside. Normally we have to handle our own problems. That is the hard lesson students and every one of us ultimately learn. We may get some kind of support, some kind of help from our friends, but it's most of the time it is we ourselves have to solve all our problems. So that power has to be developed within if we want to succeed in any aspect of life, whether it is material success, or spiritual success, whether it is holding on to values which will make us good citizens of society, of our country, of the whole world. So the power within is a very interesting topic. But what are the different types of power that Swami Vivekananda spoke of? Of course, one is physical power. We don't need anyone to tell us that. The basic idea when a child is taught that he should be powerful, the first thing he imagines or thinks is a very strong personality. Strong physically at least. Then as he grows up, once he has developed a strong personality, physical personality, we go to the higher level. We feel that though our physique is strong, but our mind is not very strong. So we want mental strength. So then the power within, from physical power, is slowly we graduate to mental power. Though our education helps in this. You see, all the discipline that is enforced, all the preparation for examinations, for your career, the hard work, now people, it's so competitive that you have to work hard, 8 hours, 10 hours, to survive in this competitive world. So that brings out a little bit of the power within. Not the full power within, but it helps because any kind of discipline, whether it is forced discipline or self-imposed discipline. Self-imposed discipline is better. You don't need a teacher or a professor or your parents to discipline you. That is a very sad state of affairs. It is Swami Vivekananda said, if you need props, if you need other people to tell you that you should be disciplined, it is a very deplorable, miserable condition. You should feel proud that I am a self-disciplined person. As they teach you in the army, it's not because your superior tells you. Of course, the question of obedience is there. But at the same time, if the soldier doesn't feel that this is a discipline I am self-imposing, or it is out of a desire to discipline my life, which will help me in doing things in a very correct way, in a well-informed way, in a very strong way, that I am allowing myself to be disciplined in this way. That is the fundamental thing we don't understand. We always think that the discipline has to be imposed by parents, by teachers, from outside, society, law. So Swami Vivekananda said that is not a good sign that every time you need a supervisor or somebody to tell you where you are right, where you are wrong. It should be learned by the child as he grows, and he should voluntarily allow himself to be disciplined, because that discipline is necessary for generating the power within. Power comes from this discipline. So in a way, all the hard work that you do Maybe you are doing it for success. Maybe you are doing it for passing examination. As Swami Vivekananda said, because he was one of the first graduates, in those days the British system, which was examination system, he used to make fun. Swami Vivekananda used to say that ours, unfortunately, is not an education system, but it is an examination system. The guarantee that you pass an exam doesn't ensure that you have had education. That is the sad state of affairs. We had an education system for centuries. Chanakya schools, all these wonderful institutions, Nalanda and all the Takshashila and universities were there. People from foreign countries, from China and from nearby countries used to come to study in this university started by the Buddhists, even before Buddhism. So these universities were real universities where their education was given. But I am very happy that Karnikji was telling me that here academic education or academic excellence is not the only thing that is important. That's a good thing for 22,000, 25,000 students trying to excel in other aspects of education other than their degrees, their academic qualification. That's a great achievement because academic excellence anyway will give you a certificate, will give you a degree. But if we want success and develop the power within, we have to resort to other talents that you have. Art, drama, so many things are there, music. These things have to be practiced or because it involves a lot of self-discipline. You can't become a musician all of a sudden. You have to practice for hours and hours together. And that generates tremendous concentration, which results in generating a little more power within. Just studying for examination may give you a lot of concentration, and that will also generate some power within. But if you have multiple talents, and if you don't waste your time and spend all your time doing something creative other than your requirements for your academic degree, then you will find more and more power is manifest. It's not to get more and more extracurricular certificates that you should do it. You should do it because you love it. Just like if you want to become a doctor, you should love the medical profession. You should love that through this profession I can serve society. So that is the idea of Tyaga and Seva, which we used in a very big program. I was surprised that the program is still continuing. We started it in 2010 in Gujarat Technological University, nearly 90,000 students, which belong to different colleges in those days. Nowadays the number is much larger. So we called it, because Tyaga and Seva, if we say, it will hurt our secular constitution. Today we were discussing about the constitution. It's a constitution day today. So we are so much afraid that if we use religious names, we will be termed as non-secular. We are not secular. So Tyaga and Seva, Swami Vivekananda said, are our national ideas. So how to introduce this idea? So we met the Vice Chancellor. So he said, can you remove this Sanskrit word? Because the government may object. They say, oh, you are teaching religion in the schools. So we wanted to make a syllabus which is known as contributor personality. Same thing. Tyaga and Seva means what? You have acquired some education and you are using that education, that service to humanity. Your education is making India become a little better, a little Atmanirbhar, self-sufficient. By using your talent, all the education that has been acquired in the university, if you are using it for the good of the nation, not just to get a job and get a salary and then one day die. No. So Tyaga and Seva, we translated as contributor personality development program. They said, oh, this is fine, this is a secular word. So it became a compulsory course for the first semester of Gujarat Technological University. Now IIT Delhi, IIT, other IITs like Gandhinagar, IIT Jodhpur, all the other IITs have also taken this. They call it, this word has become popular, contributor personality program. So that is another way of bringing out the power within. So one of the interesting aspects of that program is, whatever subject you are studying, economics, maths, engineering, the students had to, as part of the practical aspect of this 4-credit course, which is running even today. I thought they would close it because it was not very popular subject, it was difficult, but because it has marks, 4 credits given, it was implemented, and each college had to adopt 5 villages. That is part of the syllabus and part of the project work they have to do, and try to find out how can you contribute to just these 5 villages. Forget about India. Your college has 5 villages around you who do not have all the facilities. So try to use your engineering knowledge, your economic knowledge, your other knowledge, and help the villagers, ask them, identify the problems. So that was part of the course. Then we found it was all 500 colleges into 5 villages each. So it covered a huge population. The students benefited from that because they got marks. Obviously, if you prepare a good project and even if you don't suggest solutions, identifying the problems itself, you could get marks. So in the beginning, they studied because it was part of the academic requirement. If you want to pass, you have to pass in that subject. So because it was made compulsory, we found that these Swamiji's ideas now have become a part and parcel of the education system and that university, which was replicated in many universities in Orissa and other, even AICT, All India Council for Technical Education, sent a circular saying that other universities, technical universities, for example, Vishweshwarya Technological University, they were also requested that you can implement it in your own way, modify it, but you can use it. It is running very successfully in Orissa also. So we find that Swami Vivekananda created a system of education that was his dream. Of course, he could not do it. He passed away when he was hardly 40 years old. But the ideas he has given, they have to be worked out by the youth, especially the youth, because this is the time when you can experiment, when you can try to first understand what is this power within and how you can create a blueprint for success. Your own individual success, of course, that is necessary. That is why you are working so hard to study. But along with that, can that success lead to national success? Because everywhere now we see this idea of Atmanirbharta. We know in so many sectors we are dependent on foreign excellence. That is excellence developed in foreign countries, and we are paying a heavy price for that. So our own children, our own students, if they work and unleash the power within, and if they believe, as Swami Vivekananda said, all the people who were rejected in their own country, like Africa, the slaves, all of them came to America in those days. I am not talking of the America of today. I am talking of the America which Swami Vivekananda saw. He said, for many of these youth, America is the land of hope. Because the first thing they understand when they land on the shores of America is that I have infinite power within. Here, in my country, in whichever country they came from, we are always told that you are useless people. You are good for nothing. And there is so much of depression, rejection. So that is why they go to the land of hope as it was known. Now things are changing very fast. So I am not saying about the America of today, but America of those days. Swami Vivekananda said, here a person feels that the moment he lands from they used to go by ship, he says, this is a land of opportunity. I may not have anything, I don't have money, but I have that faith that I can do whatever I want, I can generate that power within. And America, this land of opportunity, will afford me an opportunity to do what I could not do in my own country. So that continued for a very long time. People even today, they think they can do better if they go to America or to other European countries, because there they found that people, though they have faith in God or they may not have faith in God, at least they have faith in themselves. In the Japanese, after the World War II, Japan was practically destroyed. If they did not have the faith in the power within, that they can rebuild this Japan, a small country without natural resources, Israel, for example, they all thought that there is this power within, whether they got it from religion or whether they got it because of their own race, racial consciousness, national consciousness. So Swamiji says, the moment you go to America, you feel that I can dream, I can unleash the power within, and I can do anything which XYZ, a son of a millionaire, does. I may be penniless now, but America will give me hope, and that hope comes because of the faith that I have developed within. I have crossed the oceans to come here to achieve something, but I need to develop that power. And that struggle itself, the struggle for survival, the struggle to do better than others, and a free atmosphere where competition is accepted. You are not jealous because your friend is doing better than you. That is one of the national deficiencies, Swamiji says. In America, you found this absence of jealousy. You want to do better than me, okay, let us compete, let us do. But I don't push you down. Whereas he says, because we were slaves for many, many centuries, that idea that nobody should, even if I don't succeed, it doesn't matter, but I will not let my friends to succeed. So that kind of slavish mentality will not give rise to this development of the power within. There should be healthy competition. If somebody is doing better than me, I should work harder. There is no problem with this kind of competition. But I should not try to push the other person down. That will not lead to development of this power within. So for a successful life, for a blueprint of success, Swami Vivekananda said, he was never tired of saying, he said, you can have faith in God, but if you don't have faith in yourself, this faith in God will not do anything for you if you don't help yourselves. God helps them who do not help themselves. That is the old proverb. But Swami Vivekananda changed it. The Indian tradition was the higher idea of self-surrender, Sharanagati, they say. God helps them who do not help themselves. All our singers, Purandar Dasa, Surdas, Tulsidas, everybody says, definitely it is true. At a higher level it is true. If you don't help yourself, God comes to your aid. But provided you have faith in that God. So Swami Vivekananda changed it a little bit. He said India doesn't need this kind of Sharanagati. It is a false idea of Sharanagati they have. They neither believe in God nor they believe in themselves. So he said, God helps them who help themselves. This is Atma Nirbharta. I help myself. I do everything. I am not dependent on anyone. That is why he said, dependence is always misery. Don't even depend on your parents. If you can do something yourself, that is what we learn, the good things about the culture in European countries. You hardly have heard about servants and other things. Even you may be a millionaire. You may afford 10 servants. But they feel pride in doing their own gardening, own cooking, own cleaning. You'll see all the rich houses. They clean everything themselves. They are so fit. Because they don't like the idea of depending on somebody. They are so independent. They said, why should I tell my son to, or some others, as long as I am strong? It's an insult, they say. I have seen 80, 90-year-old people. Even if some young neighbor comes and says, see, Grandpa, you are too old, let me help in the garden. They say, no, I am still able to walk. I am still able to do something on my own. I would rather do myself or better not do it. I don't want your help. They're so proud of their inner strength. It is just physical strength. I am not saying that is spiritual strength, but you see the mental strength. Dependence, Swami Vivekananda said long ago, 100 years ago, and he told every Indian, dependence is misery. If you can do something yourself, never outsource it to others. So that kind of discipline and self-dependence, Atma-nirbharta, this is not just for big projects and other things. Our Prime Minister has announced that Atma-nirbhar Bharat means self-dependent India. But that is only possible if we are self-dependent ourselves in our small lives, in our school life, in our college life, in our home, even in our homes. How much of Atma-nirbhar are we? If somebody is doing it, if the mother is doing it, okay, you wash my clothes. But we never see it. It's an insult to ask older people to do your work. If you see in England, they feel very bad if somebody else, even the small children, in Japan also I heard, that the children as soon as they go to school, they are taught how to clean the place, how to do everything themselves. Before they are taught other subjects, they are taught self-dependence. So that is one way, a very powerful way of unleashing the power within. Power will not awaken if we just utter these words, arise, awake. Just by shouting arise, awake, nothing is going to awaken within. We have to do it. See, we have three powers. Every human being has three powers. Power to think, power to feel, bhavana, that is to feel. The power to think. And the third power, Swami Vivekananda, psychology also says, is the power to do, that is willpower. So he says in India, we are very good thinkers, we are highly emotional people, very good emotions, we feel sorry for others, but our willpower is weak. We don't convert the thinking and feeling which we have for poor people or any helpless people. We do not convert it into concrete action. So that is why Swami says it is better to do something. Maybe a little thing. Just go out and help. You don't have to go and help the whole society. Your own family. Somebody is struggling, somebody's neighbor is struggling. I think during COVID, so many volunteers who did not even have a problem. Many old retired people, they did not have to worry at all. Food will be brought by volunteers without them asking anyone. Neither the government has made any provisions for that. Spontaneously, young people taking the risk, going and getting some things for their poor neighbors. So there is no religion involved in that. It is pure unleashing of the power within. It gives joy, this development of willpower, that I have done something good today. You see, it's not a small thing. The small actions of these daily things that you do. You help, you try. In your own house, if you help, 4 or 5 small tasks, if you do, somebody elderly who is physically not capable, you just help and see the power within increases. Swami Vivekananda said, if you help, the least help given to others, maybe a member of your own family, a neighborhood, anyone, awakens in oneself the power and strength of a lion. This he told his disciples. He had a disciple, Swami Akhandananda. He loved him very much. Because wherever there was famine, in those days there were a lot of famines and other things in Rajasthan, Bengal. So he told Akhandananda, all others were meditating and practicing spirituality. But Akhandananda, he obeyed Swami Vivekananda and took tremendous risk. Even Sister Nivedita, who came from England to help him, she walked during the plague, taking so much of risk, she would have died any time. But Swami Vivekananda's words, she said how true it is. The least help that we do to others awakens that power within. We feel that we can do anything in this world. little by little. The power does not come all of a sudden. You may keep on repeating these words, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. We repeat it. Everybody, it's good to repeat. But mere repetition will not do. Thinking and feeling will not do. You have to work. So there is a beautiful quotation there behind. Striving for success without hard work is like taking to, I can read the last line. It's there on the board, on the wall there. So without hard work, striving for success without hard work is like, can you read somebody in the last bench? It's like taking to third line. Anyway, so the idea is that we want success. And it would be very nice if success would come just by thinking and feeling. There are people I know, they paint or they put posters on their study room that somehow I will come in the first 10 ranks. If they think by just writing this, the determination will increase and they will succeed. So, without hard work, if anybody fondly wishes for success, it's not going to happen. That is the great teaching of Swami Vivekananda. He said that we lack in willpower. And willpower comes by constant practice, constant hard work, 1,000 failures. When Thomas Alva Edison, when he was trying to manufacture a lamp, the first lamp, so many attempts, 900 times he failed, 1,000 times he failed. He tried different elements to make the first bulb, which Thomas Alva Edison he made. Then he said, it did not 1,000 times you failed. He did not discourage you. So he said, no, I took a lesson from each failure. I found out, every time I failed, I found out what does not work. So 999 experiments you failed, 1,000 attempts I succeeded. So that requires persistent hard work. So that is one quality Swami Vivekananda said we have to take from the West. In fact, he said 3 great civilizations have contributed to this world, and today the world as it was 100 years ago is pretty much the same. Now new things have come, AI and other things have come. But Swami Vivekananda said the Greek civilization gave us the science and technology that you see today. Systematic development of science, Galileo and all those people. The Greeks gave us science and technology, and the benefits, the whole world is getting the benefits. So you have to acknowledge the contribution of the Greek contribution in science and technology. Then he said, the second civilization that has given the world all this democracy, communism, socialism, so many isms are there. Like government, proper system of government to impose discipline on society was given by the Romans. So the Romans first talked about democracy, about voting rights, and today the whole world is following it. We may not trace it to the Romans, but the Roman civilization has given this. Whereas Swami Vivekananda said Indian civilization is the third civilization, which has given the world the ideas of the spiritual power within, the spiritual culture. And he says all these 3 cultures have to be mixed. You can't say that I shall be only spiritual. I will have nothing to do with Greece and the Roman system. We are already in it. We are a democratic country now. We have our own politics, good or bad. We have our own success in science and technology, which we have to acknowledge. We have borrowed from the Greeks and from Europe. But Europe also had to learn the very hard way. He warned Swami Vivekananda 125 years ago when he was in London. He said, the whole of Europe, in spite of its political progress, the colonies, and also in spite of the science and technology, the steam engine and the power to control the guns and other things, they are sitting on the top of a volcano. He said, if you don't take and accept India's contribution to the world, that is spiritual power or spirituality, then the whole Europe, the volcano will burst and it will be destroyed. And the same thing happened. Within 10 years of Swamiji said it in 1900, we have the First World War, the Second World War, which almost destroyed half of Europe. So much of destruction. Because we took the best elements of Greek culture, the best elements of Roman culture, but India's contribution to the world is spiritual. No doubt we have to learn from the West. We are always learning. And Swami Vivekananda said, because we stopped going abroad, because we did not compare notes with other cultures, though we are spiritually rich, we are economically, socially poor. And that is the result why we had 1,000 years of slavery. So he said, when you invoke the power within, you invoke the spiritual power, you invoke the material power, that is to do good things in the world, see that the benefits of science and technology reach the poor people. Now you see digital and AI is being used for health services. It is used for rural development. These are the two sectors where India is trying very hard to make life easy for our farmers. It's not that AI is going to replace jobs. Every development, every student who uses artificial intelligence, he can work wonders if he really wants to help the poor Indians. He can make the task easy. The paperwork and lot of delays because of this political delays and administrative delays. AI can do it very fast. And India has shown it. Why do you think India has come to the fourth position now? So fast, from 2010 or 14 onwards. The progress has been because of this acceptance of science and technology and apply it for the good of other people. So when you say success, when you say India, I want to succeed myself, I want India to succeed, it means that I have to educate myself in science, technology, all the benefits. Then I have to be a good administrator, a good politician, or whatever career you choose, a good sportsman, any field that you excel, it's going to help. But at the same time, what does it mean if I succeed? Will it increase my bank balance and will it make me a rich person? Yes, that is one of the goals. But the main goal, according to Swamiji, to develop the Vivekananda said, the power within is developed or increased when you use your skill, you use your knowledge, you use your strength to help a few people at least. A few people with the attitude of Tyaga and Seva. Not that you have to give up money, you have to give up all these things. But at the same time, when you think of yourself, you think of others. So that is the best and the easiest way to unleash the power within. We have a different idea of power. Power means trying to dominate over others. I always put you down. That is power. I use my power and never allow you to grow. That is not power. If the parents think that the children always have to obey them and use all and teachers and everybody thinks that because I am using my power, I feel powerful, that I can control so many children or so many people. That is not the power. Power is to control your own mind so that you can use it, develop concentration, develop willpower, so that your thoughts and words will result in concrete action. So Swami Vivekananda said, so far, and that is why he used to praise the Japanese people a lot, though he spent only 1 week in Japan, maybe 10 days. He said, I was surprised at the hard work of this young, and he even visited Canton, which was, he saw a woman was tying a very tiny baby, because she did not have time to look after the baby. If she doesn't work, she doesn't get food. So she thought of a way. Swami Vivekananda was just watching how she was doing business, catching fish, and everything she was doing. And the baby, who was just a few months old, was tied to her back very tightly. And Swami Vivekananda just saw, see how expressing these women, how hard working these women are. They don't even wait till the child grows. Otherwise now you see in most of the countries they want, he says the necessity of the circumstances were so much, so bad, that if she doesn't work for one day, the family will die. So he said, I was really surprised to see how hard working these people are. So he said, this Japanese culture, even the Chinese, about Chinese, he said, that discipline, that self-discipline, which Swami Vivekananda saw, we have to learn, he said. That is why he wanted some of his Bengali disciples, who were always boasting that India is the greatest country. He said, what do you mean by the greatest country? You people have to go, leave the country, go to other countries and see how much of progress they have made. And he, in fact, he said, I will sponsor. In fact, he sent a few young men. He wanted to send, he sent his brother to just go and see Europe, see America. You just start sitting in your own well. I'm talking of 100 years ago. Now, of course, everybody is going abroad. But in those days, to go abroad was a big thing. He said, unless you compare notes, how other cultures are unleashing the power within. What happens when you go from Africa to America and suddenly you start working hard? You are the same person. You are the same person in Africa. But the moment you land there, then you feel, oh, I have to work for my success. And everything is suitable, everything is favorable for success. So then he gets inspiration. Then the power within, Swami Vivekananda says, it comes out with the force of the lion. I mean, when the moment you start working on your ideas, not just sitting and thinking and planning and dreaming. That is what he said. You are a very dreamy race. You are dreaming, but you have to work out your dreams. You have to go into the field and work out. It would not be enough to dream that I will become a big cricketer or a big sportsman. One has to go and spend hours, 8 hours. You see how the successful cricket players are. They don't sit at home. They go, they work hard, so hard that they don't want to fail. So that willpower, Swamiji says, one is concentration, which comes out of discipline and focusing on what you want to do. That gives 1/3 of your strength comes out. Then you have to feel. You have to feel that what I want to achieve. I want to become a doctor. Why should I become a doctor? What will I do if I become a doctor? Just to get a degree and then take up a job or start some practice and die one day, nobody will care for us. So the idea is, if you feel, you will feel that by being a doctor, I can solve at least a small population of our country who will be without medical treatment. So there is Narayan Rugal and Devi Shetty has worked so hard, trying to give people who are staying far off, people who cannot afford a heart operation. You see, that is a dream. That is a dream which unleashes the power within. Not that he had money and he spent it for poor people. Not, he worked hard and he felt that if we work hard, we plan properly, we can give affordable medical treatment to even poor children, poor people who otherwise would not have got treatment. So if you want to be a doctor, you aim for something other than just your own success. If you want to be an engineer, see, by working hard, like the women did in ISRO, with almost 1/10 the cost of what NASA would do, they said the Chandrayaan mission was successful. Everything was done by women. They didn't think like 100 years ago when Swami Vivekananda was there. He thought women were hardly found. He says in our university there was only one girl. When Swami Vivekananda went to Calcutta University, he said there was only one girl. Now you see how things have changed. His dream of women's empowerment, where he said the women have the same power as men. So only thing is give them the opportunities, let them manifest it. And you saw the whole Chandrayaan mission, 80% of the scientists were women. So they can do that. They have faith in themselves. The faith in ourselves is greater. And it should lead to concrete action, as I said. Just dreaming will not do, just thinking will not do, just feeling for them will not do. We have to work hard. And that is how success comes. So unleashing the power within, Vivekananda's blueprint was very simple. Whether you are an engineering student or an economic student or a farmer or a fisherman, if you want success, there is only one blueprint, and that is unleash the power which is within. It is already there. You don't have to search for it. We go to temples. Why do we close our eyes? Everybody, he goes a long distance and goes to the temple and sits and closes his eyes. If you don't want to see the God, why are you closing your eyes? That is not the idea. The idea is you go to the temple, the object of your faith, the God of your faith, on whom your faith, and ask that God that come and sit in my heart so that by your power I can develop the power within. The devotion also has a meaning. We don't go to temples and go miles and miles just to close our eyes. We close our eyes because even there we meditate on whichever God we believe in. That, oh Lord, I am powerless, but if you sit in my heart and if I meditate on you, if I have faith in you and have faith in myself, then the power within will be, the divine spirit within will awaken. That is the meaning of arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached. That is what Swami Vivekananda wanted all of us to do. Just start doing whatever you are doing right now. Meditate for 10 minutes. Go and sit in a quiet place, because without controlling the thoughts, that power inside you will not be released. The greatest secret, Swami Vivekananda said, in life is meditation has infinite power to, you can uncover that power. It is there already, but you have to remove the obstacles. And that can be done only through meditation, through dhyana. The Japanese understood it. Recently I had been to one home where I saw Japanese toys. They said, our children play with Japanese toys. So I was surprised. I said, what are those toys? So I saw they brought all the Japanese toys. They are known as Zen toys. So even children are playing with this. The frog is there. Frog is meditating. Then a dog. Dog never meditates, but they have made a dog which is meditating. Then they have a rabbit. They have all animals, and the poor, the lucky child, right from childhood, he knows if I want to succeed, I have to meditate like this dog. Even a dog is meditating. So all the toys, I said, are they known as Zen toys? So by giving them the idea that meditation can unleash tremendous power within, we have to have patience. Meditation is not an easy job. But one of the first things Swami Vivekananda said is our younger generation and everyone should try to quieten their mind. Then concentration will come, success will come. If you want success in examination, it will come. If you want success in business, success in any field of life, sportsmen, dance, music, without concentration there is no chance of any success. The more concentrated you are, the more you practice, the more you develop your power within. And that increases. The only way, whether it is through prayer, through music, through anything, or through, we have to enter that state of meditation. 5 minutes, 10 minutes are more than enough. We do so many things, especially the digital distraction. There is a talk in Bombay where they have asked me to speak on digital distraction for students. Because it's a serious problem now. It's not just the mobile that is responsible. It's the distraction it causes. Every 20 seconds, messages, this, that. We are so dependent. We cannot, you ask a person who is used to some kind of digital device and tell him 5 days or forget 5 days. 1 day you will not be given this device. He cannot sit. So that distraction is not helping him. He has high dreams. The person has very high dreams. He wants to do well, he wants to go abroad. But what is pulling him down is the digital distraction. And so many other diseases like ADHD, attention deficiency. You ask, I have seen children in class 6, there is a very important exam in the United Kingdom. Class 6, if they don't get into a good school, they can't get into a good college. The whole career is gone. So it's known as grammar schools. So the parents come to the children and said, he can't sit for 5 minutes. I said, now you are telling us, well, why did you not stop it when they were young? There were so many things you could have done when they were growing up. Now he is a grown-up boy or girl, and you say he cannot sit for 10 minutes. Homework they cannot do, they can't pay their attention, then they go to the psychiatrist. They say it is attention deficiency. They can't have attention for 5 minutes. No concentration. So how can you solve it? You can't, there's no magic word that they just come to the ashram and overnight the person will change. No, it has taken so much negligence of the parents for the child to come to this state. And when he grows and goes into college, it will be worse. And if he cannot handle failure, you know what is the condition of that youth. So this digital distraction, which is because of lack of concentration, is has to be avoided somehow or the other, especially when you are in the student. Digital devices are very good. They make our tasks very quick. We can communicate easily, we can spend less time communicating, that is fine. But at the same time, when we go to the shorts and other things, which I don't know, so many children come with it, the only problem is they keep on seeing the shorts. What can I do? Our parents are telling, I said, what are you doing at home? If you can't stop your own children and you are a teacher, you are teaching somewhere, then how can you control the whole class? You can't control your 2 children at home. And you are bringing her to the ashram saying that you please tell the child not to do. I said, why will he listen? Why will she listen? Because you are not explaining what harm it will do to them. It will harm them, it will harm the children. So, to unleash the power within, as Swami Vivekananda again and again said, the whole essence of whatever education we have, whether we want to be sportsmen, whether we want to be musicians, whether we want to be scientists, or any field, is concentration of mind. And that doesn't come without meditation. And also, to follow up, the meditation should be converted into some kind of useful activity, like seva. Just do a little seva will give you tremendous willpower. It will help, even helping your own parents. Just try it. Go home and just 1 or 2 tasks which you never did, you go and help them and see your willpower will increase. That will lead to unleashing the power within. So I am very thankful for the authorities of this college to allow me to share a few thoughts. If they are useful, because we found it very useful. I was also a student in nearby colleges when I studied here. So fortunately we came across Swami Vivekananda's works. So reading those, and I found Kannada has such a wonderful publication, especially Kuanku's books. I was shocked to see the presentation of all the artists. In Mysore, there was a 4-day program. So Kuanku's own daughter came. So, and I didn't know there was such a rich literature in Kannada language. So many inspiring poems and inspiring words. We feel that sometimes what Swami Vivekananda said in English, when I heard, I can't understand Kannada properly, but because I understand Sanskrit, I found the Kannada translation is so powerful. Like some songs which Kuanku has translated. The moment the children sang, Vidyachara children sang, I thought, my God, this can change their whole life if they really take it seriously. So there is literature, in every language there is literature, inspiring literature. First we should try to read those things, try to develop a little power within, and then meditate, practice concentration, and then do some seva with which we can increase our willpower. So I'll conclude now, we are running short of time. So thank you for